Good morning, everybody. Bear here, bringing you another Six Siege, the board game video. Uh, Today we are going to be an attacking stun team comp. Uh, just a quick recap. Uh, we have done a defender stun team comp. So it's about time we did the attacking one. So I'm doing it here today. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the stun mechanic, I will let you know, in my opinion, it is a very underrated mechanic. And what it does is if an operator is stunned, whenever they perform a shoot action, whether it's their normal shoot action or a riposte, um, they only get to roll 2 yellow die instead of whatever range they would normally be at while performing their shoot action. So it is a very, very, very strong mechanic, and it's just not utilized a whole lot. So hopefully this video doesn't catch too much fire, but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So yeah, core of my list is Blitz, Ying, and Zofia. These are three operators on the attacking side that do have the stun mechanic. You've got Blitz, who he has a shield, so he does have good protection if he's not actually behind cover. But yeah, he can just stun an entire room. Ying, she can also stun an entire room. So you do have two operators who basically have the same ability, but their their kits themselves kind of have some differences. Blitz has a shield. They both have different, optimal gun ranges as well as like the die that you roll. Ying's ability can also be used vertically, but other than that, like the basics of the ability is exactly the same. Um, and then Zofia, our third stunning attacker, she can ignore a barricade to stun an operator, which is very good. She can also potentially do some damage off of an orange die roll. Um, she has really good close and medium range, just like Ying and even Blitz. Honestly, I know that there's a bunch of yellows and oranges, but all of his ranges are very, very good. You can still get some damage in with those yellow die. Keep in mind too, you can also bring 2 flashbang with your tactical inventory, so you can have a maximum of 8 flashes between your tactical inventory and all three of these operators. So that's the core. We can move over to kind of like the support side of the list. Over here we have Buck. I've mentioned it before. I think Buck is just a superb supportive operator. He does have very good close and medium range. He has this orange destruction. But that being said, the way that I use him more as a support role, not very aggressive. And especially given his ability, you want to make sure that you're getting his ability off before he's gone. Um, but yeah, for those of you who don't know, his ability in either line of sight or vertically, he can make a hold ceiling token, and you can essentially use that hold ceiling token similarly to an entryway space, minus being able to move through it, like from the upper floor. So, but it allows you to toss throwables from the upstairs. It allows you to overwatch. It allows you to place deployables, like drones or somebody else's ability. Blitz and Ying, their abilities are deployable, so you can deploy their abilities from the upper floor. Um, but yeah, that's Buck. He supports basically almost everybody on this team. And then for our second slot of supports, we have Flores. I have Flores in here because he's just a really good wombo combo with Buck. So like one of the really good things you do, you make your hold ceiling token wherever, and then if Flores is upstairs, he can use one of his Rotero drones from the upper floor rather than having to use your normal entryway space. You can use the hold ceiling token as we just mentioned that you can use deployables. So, and then with that, also like I've said, he just does a lot with his drone. He can locate operators, setting you up for wall bangs. He gets to do damage, potentially do damage to those operators, which kind of sets up easier wall bangs. But also, if you need him to, if there's nothing in the way, like a mute jammer or barbed wires, but you can just get rid of basically any kind of gadget that might be in the room, as long as your drone ends next to it. Um, Other benefits with him, he does have the orange destruction, and then me personally, one of the things that I do like to see on operators is he is better at the medium and long range. Um, so, gives you an extra depth of play by not having to play close range all the time, which I think is good. And again, his drone, even if he's not supporting one of the even if he's not supporting one of the other operators, he can easily support himself and set you up for those really long shot wall bangs. Um, but yeah, if you're wanting to be a villain, here you go. But before you do that, we always have alternative picks. Should you be playing pick and ban, or maybe if you just don't prefer some operators because they've never worked out for you, things like that. So we can dive into that. And we got a couple groups of some of these other operators. So yeah, we'll dive into this. Monty. Montang, he was covered. Remember, for those of you that remember, I did a operator spotlight with Montang, and I did actually have a very similar team comp to this list, but the list was solely built around Montaigne. But Montaigne works with this is because if you are able to activate his passive to get multiple sources of protection, instead of getting the -3 hits, you get -4. And if he's going up against a stunned operator, he will never take damage because the max they could roll is 4. Um, Other ways you can use him, activate his ability to make his permanent light protection into temporary permanent heavy protection, at least until the beginning of the next round. But that just allows him to almost safely just push into a room without worrying about being damaged at all. Maybe he just takes a little bit of chip damage, but nothing that you can't potentially recover from later in the round. But also another thing that I don't think a lot of people think of, something that you can use with him is if you are pushing him into a room, you can actually just use him. Yeah, sorry, you can use him in a way to break line of sight to any of your other operators, right? So you push in with Monty, and then you make sure that operators behind him are kind of following the same path so that they can't be reposted against. Um, just because operators block line of sight, and then you can have those operators set up in any way you like. Maybe someone's almost dead and you don't want to risk being located or shot at with another operator. Toss a frag over Monty, try and frag them out, um, or anything like that. Up next, we kind of have another drone package between Twitch and Lion. These are here because just how Buck supports Flores, Buck easily supports Twitch and Lion. Um, Flores just has a better drone in my opinion. But should you not be able to play Flores, or if you're playing against more electronic stuff, gadgets wise, anyways, Twitch is a good option. Lion's just there. I personally like Lion. He is my favorite attacking operator. Um, but yeah, just two other drone operators that you can potentially use should you want to. And then lastly, I have Capitao and Gridlock as other alternative picks. Specifically for them, one thing that I would like to point out about kind of just the core team is running Blitz, Ying, and Zofia might be a little bit of overkill. If you just want to solely play the stun mechanic, then absolutely take that. But if you are looking for maybe something that might be a bit more rounded out, um, rather than having like a 110% focus on stunning, I do think that it's appropriate to take out one of Blitz, Ying, or Zofia out of the list and put in somebody like Capitao or even Gridlock. Specifically, those two operators, they work very well with Buck, as like I've stated, as does everyone else. Um, but Capitao can place fire overlays. You can from the upper floor. If you have a hold ceiling token in the appropriate spot, you can block off doorways. You can block off entryway spaces. And honestly, Gridlock does the exact same thing, right? So you have two operators, different guns, different abilities, but in my opinion, they are serving the same purpose. I will say that I've been having a lot of fun using Gridlock lately. Just with her ability, it's been very useful because it kind of acts as a pseudo claymore. It's not as damaging, but if the defender moves into it, they take a damage and then they just have to end their activation with that operator. So it's going to take them almost 3 turns to fully do what they want to do. Um, their first turn being they move into it, their second turn being they have to destroy it because it is bulletproof, but they would be able to destroy it and then do stuff after. And then it won't be until that third turn that they can actually start doing stuff with that operator. So that's very strong. Um, and again, Capital kind of just does the same thing, but with fire overlays, they can move through it, or in a perfect situation, maybe somebody might be kind of stuck in a corner, or if they're leaning, that's really good. You set up a hold ceiling token next to them, you drop that fire overlay on top of them. Now they have to unlean, take fire damage, then they have to move again, or if they perform any other actions, they're just going to take hits. Um, but yeah, there's plenty of other operators that I could include in here. But I think to me they were kind of more situational. It's just based off of like what you're playing. This here is kind of just like if you're doing blind picks or if you solely just want to focus on how the list is supposed to work. But yeah, like you have so many other operators that have throwables or deployables that would also work well with Buck. So again, like I said, he's a super supportive operator in my opinion. Um, but yeah, it's a little bit short of a video. I was trying to get through this one because I got some other stuff that I'm trying to work on as well. But yeah, guys, if you feel like being a villain, here you go. Um, if you do this, try to not ban Warden. See if you can do it without banning Warden. But banning Warden is obviously the best thing that you can do if you do play pick and ban. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think. What would you do differently? Or like always, let me know if there's any other ideas that you all want. I know I've gotten a couple requests on some things that I'm gonna try to work on. Could maybe get that stuff done today or later on next week. And again, apologies for not pumping stuff out like I was before. Just kind of running out of ideas, and I also don't want to put out bad content for you guys. So yeah, just let me know if there's anything else that you all want to see. Um, and other than that, I guess I will see you all next time. So like video, subscribe to my channel for more Six Siege the board game content. Peace.